So this one is Stetriol. I'm assuming it is an Ana review. He is gold. Gold, plat, gold, gold, gold. So we're going to assume close to a gold level map. Let's see what happens.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Oh, great.
Oh, the cock block out of spawn. Watch him lose by 5 seconds.
Oh, it's not Metro.
You're dealing with
We got a pick.
Rhine or Risa. Alright, a little willy-nilly on that grenade, but...
Let's go. We got 2 picks.
You gotta love
Just
me.
hit it.
Fuck yeah, love me.
And with Ana's new change, I'm not going to say always focus on healing, but Ana definitely heals better than she hurts now. When she used to do 80 damage a shot, it was definitely a thing that you could... That was a damn good charge. This is incredibly good for you guys. You need to pressure and kill both Mei and Orisa. You got Mercy Orisa. Holy shit.
We got 3 picks. Let's go.
Oh, you got this point. There should be no way that you guys lose this. You know what? Except for that.
Oh, we already have a Tracer. Fuck.
Now, one tip you can, for any long-range class, is you don't need...
My ultimate is ready.
Okay, that was strange. You don't need to commit all the way in. And also, I haven't seen you use Zoom once. You haven't used
To deal with
Alt
that,
fire.
we can go up top.
I can maybe sleep it and then Road can hook it.
Yeah, where is he on the left side? Yeah, on the right side.
You're way too far forward right now.
So we can
You're an Ana.
Yeah, we go behind.
I know you're going for this sleep, but
Or Road, I can like,
this is quite dangerous what you're doing. Alright, so you slept them. Also, they have a shield gen.
ready at the top.
Maybe Nana,
You don't know where your team's at either. You haven't looked at them once, and that's a bigger worry for me.
Alright, I need to go top.
Bastion.
Thank you.
Okay,
You're powered up. Get in there.
that's fine.
Yeah, that fucking got me. Yeah, Mercy's down.
Okay, here you go. Now, this is good. You're backing up.
God dang it.
So your positioning is quite poor from this point already. You seem to be the first one into combat.
That shield generator up.
You're really depending on your sleep dart to hit, and you just keep on running into an Orisa. Which, I guess I never thought about the sleep dart mechanic with Fortify, but yeah, that doesn't work on her. That just occurred to me now.
Alright, we going.
Remember, you're a long-range class. You are a projectile-based class when just shooting normally, and you are a hit-scan-based class when aiming.
I'm fine.
You definitely have to use the hit-scan part of the class.
Fuck.
I don't have all.
Shield.
That's a good move on our part.
May sleeping. May.
I would get away from Mei right now. Okay. Yeah, see, you're still just caught in the middle of this fray. It does help. I mean, you were pushed into this because of the Orisa. But, yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, you were forced into it on the Orisa's part. You were just kind of trying to make the best of what you had.
Gotta take care of that bastion.
You're not getting rid of me that easily.
I was sleeping last time I tried, but I got pulled down by Risa.
We'll just scoop up what's going there.
Yeah, and you kind of constantly remind yourself that you're against a Symmetra that has shield gen up. Your team's taking care of it, but
It's just a scratch.
75 extra hit points is pretty rough.
Orisa was one hit away.
No, Bastion's inside the thingy.
Symmetra got me.
You actually you lost a couple. It's times like these I would actually tell you guys to back up. You shouldn't be actually attacking here. You're at a significant disadvantage.
I have my ult, so I can kill the bastion if I have a shield.
Bastion's sleeping. No, I hit the
That sleep was definitely meant for the Bastion. Good job, May.
Zarya here.
I tried sleeping.
Or Diva?
Can you crumble mud?
I would have to say already focus more on healing. Your accuracy is, I think, is a little rough with healing.
Yeah, they got a shield generator now.
I'll bomb her. You want me to bomb back?
Where is it?
Yeah, and you need to focus more on healing than hurting. With the slight... With the damage nerf on Orisa, or not on Orisa, on Ana, 60 damage is quite low.
Bastion's sleeping. Bastion down.
Again, I mean, you're leading the charges on these. I give you points for your ballsiness, but you should not drop down ever. Okay, you dropped down immediately.
Oh, May, you fucking slut. Oh my god.
Alright, focus on healing. Alright, you haven't shot someone once or the enemy once either right here. You need to stay back as... as Ana. That's all there is to it.
Shield. What?
I'm gonna go May. Next round.
61%.
Yeah, she can't heal through shield, so I mean, Orisa does have a good... She can kind of cock block Ana a bit, but you should have the entire... The problem with... I mean, you're on the balcony, and everyone's down low on this point. Even if Orisa blocks off this with a shield, if you're up here, you still have this entire plane to hit with. The problem is when you're right here, all of a sudden you can't hit anything. Like, this is... You can't hit anything. You're not using the hit scan part of Ana. Are we gonna see May? Did you just bust out May? No. Right about here. Perfect. get some shield.
Yeah, it
You
doesn't
got some charge from that.
Wall off,
Be careful when doing that. Don't underestimate the DPS of some of the classes. If they're still running that Bastion,
just put
and they got a soldier.
I think Tracer's in there. Yeah, I'm gonna go get her. Back the hell up.
But I would just keep laying into them with left or right clicks. Just keep shooting. You keep reloading at 50 percent, or 50 ammo, I should say.
Wait, she's behind us? Oh.
Yeah, she wasted her ult.
Yeah, you just stayed in open ground way too long there. And it's hard once the choke is lost, but
Yeah, we're just gonna let it. Give it to him.
yeah, you have to pick either hugging a wall, getting your like you could have sat in soldier's regen for a bit and got your shield regen, but as soon as you walked out, you got hit again. Your shield regen got knocked back to 3 seconds, and then he just stayed on you.
Kind of stare.
I see people talking in chat what his team should have done, yada yada yada. You can't. So this is a critique on this player. What his team does doesn't matter. What the enemy team does doesn't really matter. Well, we're correcting a player, correcting the team, and shifting the blame onto the team does nothing to help the person we're looking at. So don't give any comments about the team. I could care less. Yeah. So I would take the top left because your bubble does have quite a bit of range. You can maybe challenge that. In fact, I would say you should probably challenge that.
We got all of them up top.
You need to secure that top left somehow. They're just destroying you. You guys are just chasing that rabbit.
Yeah, they got a widow.
You got to get up top. That's your primary objective. You're going to lose the point. Pretty much no matter what. If they just stay up there as a team, you will eventually get killed out. Okay, they all came down. They missed essentially 2 ults. Now you can start melting people. They got a widow up there. Right clicker. Yep.
Aiming's overrated.
You can take out this widow. You need to keep pressure on her so she's not killing everyone on your team. I would still be shooting up there. Yep. There you go. Perfect. Zarya's right click actually has an annoying amount of knockback. It will juggle a character.
He has hit me, but like, he hasn't killed me.
It's a McCree now, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, charge. Again, be careful. They got a widow, so you can. Well, they changed from widow to McCree.
Aiming's overrated.
But McCree can still burst you down pretty quick. If they had the widow, then if your bubble was down. Whoa. Okay.
They're actually down there. They're on the other side now.
Misclick, that happens. I misclick. Happened to me yesterday, or 2 days ago, when I was playing last.
Our McCree's down.
Okay, I think if you can confirmed hits, then definitely
Keep swinging.
perfect. That was... Yep. Falling down actually wasn't a terrible idea.
Oh, that was the weirdest thing ever. I got slept.
Okay, so if you can't hit them, then right click.
I got weed blade.
Okay, their McCree is up there. Oh, so far... You're just kind of sitting in the middle, which is okay. You're a tank, you can get away with it, but a tank's primary ability is to close into a small distance, and if you can get to that distance, you can bully the fuck out of people. Even if you don't have good tracking with Zarya's primary fire, her secondary is still quite strong. You had a decent charge that entire fight, so even if you had no faith in your tracking and you only right-clicked, you could still get some decent damage done.
I was wondering how.
Okay, yeah, your charge, yeah, get out. Yeah, you get your charge.
The point, the point.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah, that's exactly when you can't feel like when you feel like you can't get that last hit. Perfect. He should die. Then Mercy's coming in for a res though. She's on the balcony. Oh, she died. She got soldier ulted.
Missed it down.
I think I saw
Farah was up top.
top left.
No, that was Farah. Mercy, I killed her.
They went back to May.
You can time. Okay, that you got to get used to. The Reinhardt's want to build charge, so they're going to fire strike a lot. You can definitely take advantage of that. Even though it only hits you for 100, right now having a bit more energy would be good. Oh, but that works out. Don't melee. Only Reinhardt does melee splash damage, and Genji's ult. That one punch you could have reloaded in that time. I think Zarya is a tank, but she still does one second and a half reload like all the other classes.
Mercy's down.
Amazing.
So just a skill in general is to not.
I'm not going to bother about it too much.
Don't just sit outside a Mei ice cube and wait for her to get out. That's 5 seconds that you could be shooting someone else. Right, that could have been 5 seconds you're putting DPS on the Reinhardt shield for it to drop sooner.
No. It'd be a, that's
No, it's
Charging bubble from Fire Strike gives 20 charge, right? Correct. Ever since the change where Fire Strike only hits once instead of twice, she only gets half charge. But the fact that she saved bubble that time let her push forward with her ultimate.
nice job.
Yeah, let her push up with the ultimate. She had bubble, so she didn't get affected by Earth Shatter. And allowed her to push in. Now, she didn't follow up on it, but still the premise was good. Was a good premise.
Oh, 5 more wins.
So, as a Zarya, right? That's how you played, right? Oh no, you played Ana too. That's right. So you played Ana. So let's talk about Ana at first. Ana. Hit scan. I think I saw you zoom in twice. Yeah, twice. Your grenade usage was fine. The bionic grenade was good. That was fine. I'll give you a check. Check plus. Position too far forward almost all the time. Almost specifically. Almost every single time. So you need to value the high ground more and get to the high ground more. So logistically, try to find the high ground and get to it, and then hold that place and abuse the fact that you're a hit scan healer. Which I think is the only... Yeah, there's no other hit scan healers. Everyone else is just gonna click and heal away or be around them. The fact that she's hit scan is... Ana heals the most in the game because, one, she has low mobility, and two, because technically her healing ability is a skill, meaning if you can't hit your target, you cannot heal them. So she does have a bit more healing than the other classes for these two reasons. You need to abuse the fact that you heal more than other classes. And hit scan makes it instant. Information, I think you were... Alright, information-wise, this is what I want to see. I'm going to tell you a piece of information. You're a long-range class. Long-range classes usually have less tools to deal with direct confrontations. Usually they have a tool. So Junkrat, long-range class, has Remote Mine. I guess he has Trap too. But Trap's relatively easy to find. Widow, another long-range class. She has, her Mine, but more importantly, she has Grapple. Hanzo is Scattershot. Pharah, long-range class. She can jet. She has high mobility. Ana, also a long-range class. You have Sleep Dart to deal with targets, but that doesn't mean... I mean, it still means you're a long-range class. You have to abuse the fact that you can be at any range and do your job just as well, if you have the accuracy. Obviously, hitboxes they don't change in size, but you're farther away, so it's a smaller target. But you need to use the fact that people have to encroach on you at a farther range, and you can use the time that it takes for them to get to you to your advantage. Avoid... You were playing like a tank. You were actually in front of the Reinhardt half the time. More than half the time. Yeah. So you definitely have to sit back behind your tanks. Like, at least, if nothing else, be behind your tanks, please. Also, don't jump on the low ground. Don't feel, and I corrected someone earlier today on this, don't feel like you have to do everything. And what I mean by that is, just because your team needs to cap the point doesn't mean you have to be on the point. Right? You're a long-range class. You'll see all long-range. Even McCree, Soldier, Ana, Widow. They just sit on that balcony in Hanamura Point 2, and they just rain hell from afar. And because they can't... The teams have to deal with the tanks first, and then deal with these long-range classes, there's just no way to get back to them. The problem is you pushed up far, so they could deal with you right away. You weren't exploiting your own strengths. In fact, you were showing them your weakness, and you're fighting them in the weakest way possible, and like, you can't get upset at them destroying you when you're at your weakest. Exploit your strengths. Ana's strength is, 1, her massive healing ability. 2, she's long range. Yeah, Bionic Grenade can be thrown an entire football field. And she has a hit scan. You didn't use hit scan at all. So those are the things I want you to work on. It's actually quite simple. Just the lack of not aiming with hit scan is going to put you in a bad spot overall. That and just way too far forward. I think anything else in the game could be overlooked. Whatever small mistakes you had could be easily overlooked. What you cannot overlook are these two core principles of Ana. You have to work on these to get better. No other way to put it. Now, as for your Zarya play, Zarya. Zarya. Let me just think a little bit on your Zarya play. I think your bubble usage was fine. a couple times you use it a little bit too early, but mainly with your Zarya play, like, I think your accuracy was fine, both with primary and secondary, and I think you used both effectively. You're fine there. It's actually your positioning that was bothering me. And it wasn't... I don't want to say this is specific to Zarya. This is kind of like Overwatch fundamentals. When you got to point 2, you never used the high ground. Or challenged the high ground. Or fought for the high ground. I think you were up there once. And then you jumped down immediately into the middle of the point where you can get hit from all sides. And since they had a Pharah flanking on the right side, they were coming down the main side, and they also had some people coming from the left, like high ground. It's hard to choose a target to kill. Now, you were getting lucky in the fact that they were all jumping down on point for whatever reason. A good team would have stayed up there and picked off 1 or 2 people with their long-range classes as their soldier, and then jumped on the point and attacked you head-on when you were in a weakened state. But these are gold-level players you're playing against, so they didn't do that, and you got away with it. Fight for the high ground. Remember, your bubble range is actually quite remarkable. Your right-clicking is very far as well. I think her right-clicking is... I don't want to say as far... I think it is as far as Junkrat's attack. I would actually have to, I would actually want to test how far Zarya's right click can go, but it can go pretty goddamn far. Yeah. So you could hold the high ground with your left click, and if anyone attacked anywhere else, you could shoot right clicks to test their mettle. Essentially test if they will attack you or not, or if they're just kind of feigning, they're waiting for something else to happen. You could easily bubble across the Hanamura point too. So you could do your job from a distance, and which you should. Because then, when you're pressed, then you can start using your close range distance. And I guess this applies to both your characters, and this is probably a common theme for you, is using the proper tool for the job. And that is actually what you need to work on. This is the thread of truth between probably all of your characters. And is just a personality thing that, and a skill thing that you have to work on, as a person. This is one of your things. Is right tool, right range for the right job. This needs to be a G. No, that needs to be an H. All right, see you, Gohan. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Timing's overrated.
Keeping distance, range, gating, if you will, is a fundamental in Overwatch. And by fundamental, I mean it's one of the most goddamn important things you can figure out in general. So for range, you need to, 1, internalize movement speed. 2, all weapon ranges and fall off. And eventually, at first, you're going to have to think about this, and it's going to be mechanical, but eventually you have to internalize it all. Three would be timing. And timing is just the active ability of 1 and 2. So, what tool should you use for what job? The truth is, if you can do your job from farther back, do it. Why? Because it takes them more time to get to you to kill you, right? They have to get through 3 or 4 people before they can deal with you. If you can do your job just as well far away, if you can do it as close. Now, this depends on damage fall off, right? Some classes can do this more, like Soldier. Some classes can do this less, like, Reinhardt, or a class with heavy fall off. I don't even say heavy fall off. McCree doesn't have that bad a fall off, but he's at 15 meters. Does my annotation software have text boxes? It does, but I don't want to use them. I like writing stuff out. Because then you have to figure out what I'm saying, and you have to remember what I said, and this apply what I said to that hieroglyphics that I'm fucking drawing. So it makes you learn more. So, yeah. Right tool for the right job. So Tracer, yeah, someone in chat said, like Tracer. Tracer's a good point. She can attack from a little bit farther away. Now, she does have this sweet spot where she stops taking fall-off damage. And then, like, sometimes people like to play a little bit closer than that. But, like, personally, as a Junkrat, if they play in this close range, I'm cool with that. Fuck, that's great for me. I have a projectile. That means it takes less time to get to her, and I can hit her easier. It's when they play at this middle range, at the exact fall-off range, that I start having big issues with Tracer as a Junkrat. But you have to know when you can use all of them. Like, Tracer will shoot from this range, this farther range. Why? It's free damage. She can get the damage off. There's no point in, like, going closer because it's too threatening. And she wants to scout out the situation. Sometimes people want to pressure you and see how you react. And then if you react poorly, they'll take advantage of that. When it comes to competitive matches, it doesn't matter who's better. We'll just say better. B-E-T-T-E-R. It doesn't matter who's better. What matters is who makes less mistakes. So, when two people fight, or when two teams clash, it's not about who's better. It's who makes less mistakes that day. That's why I personally don't believe in one-on-ones. Like, one-on-ones happen, but they actually don't tell you who's better.
Timing's overrated.
It just means, at that time, who made less mistakes. Now, here's the catch. If I make you make more decisions, you have a higher chance of making more mistakes. This is why people pressure at farther ranges than closer at first. One, it's free damage, it's easy to do. But two, most importantly, it makes you make a decision. You may have to, like, do I go for a health pack? Do I stay with my healer? Do I attack into it? Do I overreact? Yada, yada, yada. All of these things elicit a different response for each hero. Now, maybe 3 of those choices are wrong, and maybe 2 of them are right. This means if I force you to make a decision, maybe there's a 50% chance you are fucking up, and I can kill you because of it. So that's why I want to attack at longer ranges than shorter. I don't always have to aim for this perfect range. At times, though, you do want to aim at this perfect range, right? This is your optimal range. This is a good place to be. And other times, you actually want to go closer for whatever reason. Whatever reasons dictate you see some advantage at being close, because maybe you can kill one person, and then with one blink, you can get to the next person and kill them, because then you'll be at this middle range for the next person, right? You're kind of setting yourself early for the next attack. This is deep shit. I know I'm telling you this, and you're a gold level player, and this is kind of what I would teach someone at Grandmaster. But you should start this early on by just internalizing movement speeds and understanding where weapons are effective at and where they can fall off at. This will just get you a general idea of proper positioning. And if you want my definition of positioning, I don't think I can write it on... No, there's no space. But my definition for positioning is more or less something like... the greediest spot you can be while still being safe. Right? It gives you an opportunity to easily land attacks, but you're still safe. The truth is, positioning is always a balance of competing demands between risk and, I don't want to say reward because it makes you think the wrong thing. It's more like risk and safety. It's kind of like a difference between damage and health. Right, that's what you're weighing the risk, or it's not risk reward. It's damage versus health. How much damage or how much health are you willing to risk to get some extra damage in? Is the damage worth it? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It's an ever-learning process, and that's why I don't want to give you a hard or fast rule, except for the fact that there's a general idea behind it. But yeah, definitely start using the correct tools for the right job. If you can be more effective at range, be at range. Zarya is one of those characters that you can use your bubble at range. You have your right click at range. But if you get really good tracking skills, then your left click can melt people. So between both characters, I think he played fairly well. I think he did well. But I believe the bad habits of your positioning with Ana and Zarya are both indicative of your issue with not understanding the proper ranges for each class. Not using the proper tool for the job. So start playing around, and I don't like it when other coaches and analytics people, they kind of tell you what to do. And I'm more of the... I want you to try, I want you to experiment, because that's how you're going to learn better. If I tell you what to do and you do it, you're not going to learn that much. You're just going to say, oh, Chro said to do this and it works, so I'm going to do what Chro said. What I want you to do is, fuck Chro, he doesn't know what he's doing, but I'll try what he said, and then we're going to try some other stuff. So play Ana at long range, play her at middle range, try sleep darting at long range, at middle range, at short range, yada yada yada. You have to play around with it, and the more you play around with it, the more you'll deeper understand each range and each tool at each range. Through this, you will develop a mastery of whatever you're trying to do. Now, I like to think of things in Overwatch as fundamental skills. So that's why I say movement speed, because you have to know how fast people can move towards you and away from you and stuff like that. And as soon as you internalize these for all classes, it doesn't... And like I just do it for Junkrat, but I internalize all classes and what they can do and how they get there and how fast they do it. That's why I say Overwatch is 90% general skill, 10% hero skill. It's all about just understanding the movement and such of classes. Someone commented on my YouTube videos that saying I doesn't have to know about ranges since there's no fall off. No, this is not true, because everyone else in the game does have fall off. Also, ranges have skills, or skills have ranges. You have to know your ranges. You just have to. I have to know how far Winston can leap, because if I don't know that, I don't know when I'm vulnerable. It's stupid to say... What that comment is saying is that he believes Overwatch is like 90% hero skill and 10% general skill. When he plays Zenyatta, he only cares about Zenyatta, and that's a shit way about going about it, and that's why one-trick ponies get such a bad name. If I play one class, well, look, guess what I do? I fucking do. Why is it as a Junkrat I know, like, Soldier's range and damage, McCree's range and damage, all his fall off, all his skill cooldowns? I know that with most classes, I can tell you everything about all of them. How can I do that if I only play Junkrat? I do my fucking research. Alright? Not only do I do my research, but I also, like, double check it with in-game stuff. Like, I have a good gut feeling about all of this, and I also have the hard fact numbers behind it as well. You have to use both. You have to use a gut feeling and the hard fact numbers, both feeling and logic, to fully get a mastery of everything. Yeah, that comment kind of sets me off. That's a shitty comment from a shitty player. And it's bullshit. Yeah, that's it. I think that's all I got on this one. Yeah, the one thing I want you to work on, ranges. Understand them. Understand short, medium, and long ranges. I'm not saying you have to study the book of Overwatch about what every character's fall-off damage is. Just get a gut feeling. You're like, 50 meters, McCree, he can do okay damage to me. He's going to do about, like, 50 damage to me. Headshot made you double. Yada, yada, yada. Stuff like that. Just get a general feeling of the speed and timing and the damage of all the ranges. And then think, how can I abuse everyone's weakest range? How can I abuse my maximum range, my strength, my key areas? And then you can go on to that. Too cool for you says, if you're too lazy to memorize all of this, can you just skill your way to the top? Skill can get you far, but you're not going to get to the top. You may internalize these ideas. You don't need to know that, like, McCree's fall off is 15 meters and understand what 15 meters is in the game. You just have to play Overwatch enough to the point where you're like, this is probably where McCree starts dealing fall off damage. And that's all you really need to know. You don't need to know the exact numbers. Don't think you have to know every single number. I'm just saying if you do know every single number, it helps as long as you can use that actively. It's when you have all these like crystallized pieces of information and you're like, I know all this like dictionary skill like ideas and all these words and yada yada yada. It's like, well, can you use them in real life? Not in real life, but can you use them actively in combat? Most of the people can't. They can spout out all the bunch of numbers they can, but they can't do shit about it. That's why I prefer people that just do, rather than people that just worry about theory and thinking. If you can't apply what you know, then shut the fuck up. Yep. That's about that one. Pow! Done.